Afternoon, everyone. So I'm Sunil Ladd. I'm consultant counselling psychologist in secured services, but I'm also a yoga teacher as well. So a big welcome to today's yoga session, thinking about your well-being. So this is a session for people who've done yoga before, also for people who've never done yoga before. So basically, you do not need anything. If you've not got a yoga mat, don't worry. As long as you can practice on a carpet, just wear some comfortable, loose-fitting clothing, so nothing too tight. And also, I'd recommend that you also don't wear any socks in your practice as well. The reason for this is that we've got many nerves and cells in our feet, and if we think historically, we never had shoes. So what happens is what happens in our cells of our feet communicates all the way up to our head. But because we're wearing shoes and socks, we're kind of losing that connection to the ground in a way. So I'd really promote that you, especially walk around barefooted as much as possible, really, so you can really connect with the ground, but also your feet start to pick up on different sensations that go all the way up to your brain as well, and that turns on the different muscles within your legs, and that has an impact on your spine. So like I said, there's no need for a mat, so just making sure that you're practicing on a blanket or a rug, or just something that is going to keep you comfortable, but also nothing that's going to make you slip. What I'd also think about is during this practice, just recognizing if you're pushing yourself. So with yoga, we want to really practice with something called ahimsa, which is non-violence. So not being too strenuous with our body, because that's when we'll often create pain. And what I'd like to think about, because sometimes we've been socialized to think about our body as a machine, so we work it really hard. So really think about, especially given that this week is about well-being, how do you treat your body with care? So what I'd like you to think about today's practice with, especially people who've practiced yoga before, not just pushing yourself into poses, but when you're in the different poses, what is the relationship with your body that you've got at that moment in time? So really think about not pushing your body, because if you push your body, you might cause yourself an injury. So if at any point you're not understanding what to do, or you're experiencing any pain, please do back off, because this practice isn't about causing pain or any injury to yourself. Again, really treating yourself with care and compassion. Okay, so one of the things that I'd just like to introduce to you first is thinking about how do we sit in our body? How do we experience tension? Often, if we think about what we might have been through during the last year, it's been a lot of tension, a lot of fear, a lot of anger, all sorts of different emotions might have come up for you. So if you think about when you feel those emotions, what happens? Your body might tense up. So it might be a really subtle thing. So just what I'd like you to do, before you do that, actually, I've just lit a candle. Think about your environment. In order to create this environment, which really is trying to tell you you're caring for your well-being, what can you do? So I just want you to spare a moment, just make a pause. Maybe you've got a candle, maybe you want to put some relaxing music on for yourself during this practice, or something that you know which will just remind you this is about your well-being. This is about caring about yourself. So what reminders might do that, whether that's a candle, a piece of nature, just making sure that you've got a bit of water near you as well. So I'm just going to give you a moment to do that. Feel free to, if you're not watching the live recording, to press pause as well if you want to do that. And then once you do that, just make sure you've got that there, reminding yourself, because sometimes we've got to constantly remind ourselves about taking care of our well-being, because we're often focused on action. So coming back, so thinking about our body, so I'd like you just to notice how you might be sitting in your body at the moment, and just notice, is there any tension? that you might be able to feel or even not feel. So often what happens with our body is that different tensions we might feel, especially if you've been on the laptop or been standing, different parts of your body might get tense. So if you think, what I'd like you to do is just really clench your fists really hard and notice actually the impact that has not only on your fists, but the rest of your body. Now what I'd like you to do is when you notice that, notice what happens to your breathing. When you're clenching your fists really hard, can you take a deep breath in? And actually, does your breath feel constricted? Mine does. You probably find that actually you can't breathe to your fullest when you're kind of tensing this way. So what I'd like you to do now, still have your fists clenched, but not too hard, to really ease it. And now breathe. And notice then what's happened in your hand. Have your muscles relaxed a little bit? You still might feel a bit of tension, but actually by just relaxing a little bit, you might find that your breath expands. So thinking in today's practice about really using the breath to notice what's happening in your body, noticing those areas of tension, of holding, because when we're feeling emotions, what happens is that there's kind of normally imprints within our body that we're not conscious of, where we're holding fear. Just think about, for example, you might have got an email or someone just said something to you and you just kind of, you kind of hold yourself. What this practice will hopefully help you to do today is just notice that connection that you have in your body when you're holding different things and learning how to step out of it by breathing in. Okay, so actually let's start off by lying down. What I'd like you to do is just lie down, but have your feet flat on the floor, so bend at the knees. And just notice your spine connecting down with the floor. Either have place your hands on your belly, so elbows on the ground. And take a deep breath in and out. So just scan your body, noticing any areas of tension or tightness. And can you take a deep breath? Doesn't matter if you breathe in through the mouth or the nose, preferably the nose. But if that is something that is difficult for you, then just breathe in a way that feels comfortable. So just notice, what is your breath like? Does it feel smooth? Does it feel deep? Does it feel shallow and constricted? There's no right or wrong. It's just about bringing awareness to your body. Reminding yourself that motivation of care. Often we go into self-critical mode. So just notice if that does pop up. Recognize it and bring yourself back to your breath. So as you breathe in and out, just notice where is your breath located, whether it's in the shoulders, the center of the chest, or the belly. And given your hands are on your belly, can you now take a deep breath in to your belly? Feel your stomach expand. And as you exhale, Your stomach might just dip down. Just feeling it expand, going out, and contract when you breathe. So expand as you breathe in, and contract as you breathe out. So now going up, noticing your ribs. Can you feel your ribs expand as you breathe in? Maybe even, getting bigger, going to the sides. And as you exhale, maybe come back together. One more breath into your ribs. Just feel a sense of freedom, sense of expansion from the middle of your chest. And then as you exhale, your breath leaves. And now I'd just like you to notice your shoulder area. Might be from if your hands are still on your belly, can you actually bring up your arms over your head and on the floor? So really feel as you inhale, breathe in to your collarbones, opening out your shoulders. And breathing out. Just notice also your jaw. Can you relax your jaw as you breathe in? And you breathe out. All of these muscles are all connected. So we might feel tension in our shoulders, which is also connected to our jaw. Can you relax your jaw, relax your shoulders? Breathing in and breathing out. Now we're going to bring some movement. So as you inhale, have your arms up over you. And then as you exhale, can you slowly bring your arms over your head up towards the ceiling, and then palms of your hand down onto the floor. One, and then as you inhale, bring your arms up over your head. So then when you've fully breathed in, your hands are on the floor. So bring your breathing in line with the movement. Exhaling then, arms back down. So when you've got no more breath left into your body, your hands come down to the floor. Once more, inhaling, bringing the movement in line with your breath. And then exhaling, arms down. Okay, brilliant. And then from here, can you bring your knees to your chest? Give yourself a nice hug with your knees coming towards your chest. Again, if this feels difficult, just notice you might want to bring your hands just be underneath your knees. And just rock slowly from side to side, rocking your knees gently, keeping your back on the floor. Your hips might come up. And maybe even just think about going all the way to the side. And then notice, actually, does one side go further than the other? Do you feel that you've got a bit more flexibility, a bit more movement on the left side or the right side. Brilliant. And then coming down. And then slowly coming up to a seated position. So now bring yourself into a cross-legged position. Now I've got a block underneath my hips. So you might want to bring some kind of padding, a bit of pillow or something, because you might find that your knees are quite high and that might feel quite uncomfortable. Often we're not used to necessarily sitting on the floor a lot of the time. So if we're sitting in a cross-legged position, you might want to just, I've got a yoga block, but you don't have to have a yoga block. You might just want to bring a pillow or fold up a blanket. And just, you might find that actually that just helps your lower back to relax a bit more and your knees might come down. So you might just want to experiment with that, and that's absolutely fine. Okay, so we're going to do some twists now, but before we do that, just notice before when we were lying down what your breath felt like, and now just maybe close your eyes and take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. So before, the floor was supporting your body, supporting your back, supporting the back of your belly, supporting your shoulders. And now as we're sitting up, just notice what your breath and your body feel like. Just kind of think of this as a curious inquiry. Take a deep breath in. Kind of think again about those three parts, your belly, the middle of your chest and your shoulders. Allow the breath to flow in each of those three places. Kind of think about it as three stages. And breathing in and breathing out. Okay, so from here, place your left hand on the floor and then place your right hand over your head and feel that big stretch from your right hip to the tip of your right fingers. So again, notice what pattern does your body go into? Do you find that you're stretching a lot to try and get yourself into the pose? Do you feel that actually in order to get to the pose, you need to go to the extreme? What happens if you just back off a little bit? If you're trying to push to a 10, what happens in your body when you're at an 8? You don't just want to just flop, but also just try to hold the position. So remember to breathe. You might notice you're breathing more so on the right side of your body, as this is a more open part. And then bring your hands down, coming back to center. As we've opened out our right lung a bit more, maybe just close your eyes and notice the connection that you feel internally with the right side of your body as you breathe in and you breathe out. Do you feel that connection? If not, then that's totally fine. Again, this is just a curious inquiry. And then placing your right hand down onto the floor. Inhale, lifting your left arm up and over. So here, just notice, how does this side of your body feel? Again, notice, are you pushing to 10 out of 10? Can you back off a little bit? Notice what happens when you do back off. Does your breath get deeper? So today, during the practice, just notice any patterns that you feel that there are in your day-to-day life that are playing out on the mat. Whether that's pushing too hard. And just notice actually what happens when you do back off. You're still in a very strong position. You're not all the way down, but also you're not exerting so much force, which then drains you so much. It allows your breath to flow freely. And then coming back down. So now just notice the left side of your body, how it feels. Breathing in, breathing out. Just notice the parts of your body you feel connected to, whether that's the front side, the back side, the shoulder, the ribs, or even going all the way down to the hip. Okay, and now what I'd like you to do is swap the cross of your legs. So if you had your left leg in front, place your right leg in front. Just notice, how does that feel? If you're normally used to crossing your legs in a particular position, what does it feel like when you go the opposite way? So then place your left hand on your right knee. Inhale, lifting your right arm up, twisting back. Place your right hand down on the floor behind you, or you can place it on your left hip. The choice is yours. As you inhale, elongate the spine. As you exhale, can you twist round? It might only be 1 millimeter or so. Looking over your right shoulder, again, making sure that you're not pushing yourself to cause yourself any pain. So if there is any pain, back off. Inhale and exhale. With each inhale, can you lift up your spine? As you exhale, can you twist? Just notice the sensations in your body. Again, thinking about what we were saying at the beginning, relax. Just notice if your shoulders are hunched up, can you relax them? When you do relax them, just notice how that has an impact on the rest of your body, has an impact on your breath. And then coming back to center. Maybe just twist it out, have a little wriggle. And then placing your right hand on your left knee. Inhale, lifting up your left arm, going all the way back, looking over your left shoulder. Again, inhale, lifting up your spine. Exhale, can you twist any further? Just notice, in this pose, does your mind wander off anywhere? If at any point your mind has wandered off to either self-criticism or just wandered off thinking about what you might eat tonight, just notice that thought and bring your attention back to your body. These are normal ways that our brain just copes with day-to-day life. So bring yourself back to your breath and bring yourself back to your body. Treating yourself with care and compassion. And then coming back to center. And then just notice how you're feeling. Notice how you feel in your body. Brilliant. And then we're going to go to some more movement now. So now coming on to your hands and knees. In this hands and knees
position, just have your hands flat on the floor underneath your shoulders. So palms underneath your shoulders, hip on top of your knees. If you're feeling any pain underneath the knees, make sure you've got some padding on the knees. Maybe just a small pillow, or just again that folded up blanket. And then we're just going to move to a cat and cow stretch. So firstly, push your hips back, lifting up your head, feeling a big stretch at the front of your spine. And then as you exhale, drop the head, pushing your belly button to your spine, pushing your middle back up to the sky. And then inhale, cow pose, pushing your head back up, stretching the front of your spine. As you exhale, pushing down into the cat pose, where you get a big stretch of the back of your spine, pushing your belly button to your spine. One more breath. Inhale, lifting up, and then exhale, head down. From here, tuck your toes under, and then lifting up from the knees, maybe just come up if possible. Push up just a couple of centimeters, and then from there, push your hips up to the sky, dropping your head down, straightening out your legs into a downward facing dog. So here, in your downward facing dog, maybe just pedal out your legs 1 foot at a time, stretching out your back, stretching out the back of your legs. Again, if you're experiencing any pain, if you've never done this before and there's pain in the shoulders, come up. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Again, noticing your jaw. Can you relax your jaw if it's tight? And then from here, can you walk your feet forward towards your hands? Doesn't matter how close you can get your hands and feet together. This is just about where your body is today. And then relaxing and resting your belly on your thighs, holding opposite elbow. Place your forehead on your forearms. Taking a deep inhale in and a deep inhale out. You might also just want to blubber the lips. Take a deep sigh. Let any tension out of your body. Just notice any holding of your tension. You might also find your body starts to relax. You can bend at the knees a little bit as well. Brilliant. And then from here, uncross your arms, place your hands on your shins, and then slowly walk your hands up your legs, coming all the way up. Kind of feel vertebrae by vertebrae of your spine stacking up on top until your head is on top. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Just notice how your body feels. This is our first standing posture. And then just notice, how are you balancing? If you think about the soles of your feet, where do you feel the weight is? Is the weight on your heels? Is the weight on the pad of your foot or your toes? Is it on the inside of your feet or the outside? Again, there's no right or wrong. I'm just inviting you to notice. And then just notice, actually, as a result of that weight being distributed on the soles of your feet, where do you notice any tension, or even where you feel the strength of
your muscles holding you up. Also notice as you're standing up, is one foot out or are they aligned? Again, sometimes in yoga we get too bothered about alignment and the perfect posture. But actually, for me, yoga is about connection to our body, uniting ourselves with our body when we're quite disembodied. So again, don't worry too much about getting it right or wrong. This is about developing relationship to your body, creating awareness and creating, again, that sense of care for your body. Okay, so from here, we'll go back to our breathing. So if you can you actually just move the weight around? So you might want to bring the weight of your feet, come up from your heels, and then just move, rock slowly back and forth. Also spread your toes. Again, if you've been wearing shoes and socks most of the day, what happens when you spread the toes? Do you also notice, where do you feel that? When you spread the toes and push the weight down, do you also feel it in your calf muscles, your thighs, your pelvis? So feel that connection that you've got from your the soles of your feet going all the way up your body. And then thinking about your tailbone, what happens if you tuck your tailbone down, lift up from the front of your spine? Can you imagine that you've got a string on the crown of your head pulling you up? Also rolling your shoulders down, just notice what your posture feels like then. Remembering to breathe. This isn't about standing straight like a soldier. This is just about creating awareness in your body. Okay. So now what I'd like you to do is inhale, lift your arms up, bending back, exhale, hinging at the hips, kind of moving from your arms, coming all the way down, placing your hands on the floor. If your hands can't reach the floor, then placing your hands on your shins. So again, it's about navigating. Where does your body take you? There is no right or wrong, as long as you're not in pain. Inhale, lifting all the way up again. And then exhale your arms down. Inhale, lifting up, bending back. Exhale, bend at the knees, hinging at the hips, coming all the way down. And this time, can you place your hands on your shins? Imagine that you've got a helium balloon just underneath your heart and it pushes you all halfway up into an L shape. Exhale, coming all the way down. And inhale, lifting all the way up. Bending back, exhale, arms down. So thinking about your well-being, in order to connect with your body, you might just each morning want to start creating a little routine of that movement. Sometimes we think, oh, I want to do a yoga practice, but sometimes we've got to start small. So once more, inhale, lifting up, exhale, coming all the way down. Just notice your breath, notice your body. Inhale, coming halfway up. Exhale, place your hands down. This time, can you bring your right foot back, drop the knee. Again, have some padding if you need to. You can release your toes on your right foot. Inhale, coming up into a low lunge. So in this low lunge, arms up, and you push that left knee slightly forward, but also lifting up from your arms, feeling that stretch in your right hip flexor.
And then hands down. If you've got any pain in your wrists, you might want to avoid this pose, but tuck your right foot back, bringing your left foot back into a plank pose. And then from here, feeling the strength of your body, push back your heels. And if at any point this is feeling too much, come down on your knees. And then for this practice, the choice is yours. You could either stay here, you could do a couple of press-ups if you're feeling that you need some, you want some strength today. Just one or two, or you can stay in this pose. Just notice again your breath, your body, and then knees, your chest, your shoulder, and your chin, then down onto the mat. And then inhale, roll your shoulders back, lifting your head up. In yoga, this pose is called Bhujangasana, translated as a cobra pose. So notice how snake-like you might feel. And then exhale, tuck your toes under, pushing back into your downward facing dog. So this series of movements is something called the sun salutation, the Surya Namaskar. So you can bring your right foot forward now towards your hands. If you notice that your foot doesn't come that much towards your hands, don't worry, you might want to kind of walk your foot forward. Again, listen to your body and what feels right for your body. And then from here, bring your left foot forward next to your right. And then coming back down into a forward fold. And then lifting up. Just notice, where do you lift up from, whether that's your lower back, your chest, your head. And then exhale, arms down. Now we'll do the other side of the body. So inhale, lifting up, bending back. Exhale, bend at the knees, hinge at the hips, coming all the way down. Just notice again where you're moving from. And then this time, coming halfway up. So hands on your shins, coming halfway up. Exhale, hands down, left leg back, drop the knee, release the toes, inhale it up, low lunge. Then just slightly pushing that the right knee forward, left hip back. Feel that stretch from the tip of your left fingers to your left hip flexor. And then hands down, tuck your left toes under, bring your right foot back into a plank pose. Just notice how your body feels. Can you maybe even tuck your tailbone down? Got the option of a couple of, if you're feeling like you need some strength. What? Again, you can do this with non-violence, ahimsa, and then coming down, tucking your toes under, knees, chest, and chin down to the mat. This time we'll do the Sphinx pose rather than the cobra. So bring your forearms down onto the floor and then inhale it up. So again, if you're trying to develop a practice, just notice, what does your body feel comfortable or uncomfortable in doing? If this feels like a new practice for you, just notice what patterns are emerging. Whether it's things you feel comfortable in or not. Take a deep breath, notice what your breathing is like in this pose. Kind of, you might be pushing up from your lower back. You know, if you've been sitting down, this is kind of like a bit of an opposite position. If you've been sitting on a chair, a computer, this is a nice back bend. And then coming down, bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes under, and pushing down into a downward facing dog. Again, in your downward facing dog, just allow your head to hang. And then bring your left leg forward, drop the right knee, inhale it up. And then exhale your arms down. Bringing your right foot forward. And inhale it all the way up to a standing posture. Exhale your arms down. Okay, so we'll now just maybe do a quicker movement of the sun salutation, but with a high lunge this time. So inhale, lifting your arms up, bending back. Exhale, coming all the way down. Hands on shins coming halfway up as you inhale. Exhale, and just with your hands on the floor, bring your right foot back. Not going to drop the knee this time. And if you can, inhale it up into a high lunge. So this time you've got the option of pushing that left knee forward. You can bring your right knee down towards the floor and then inhale it up. You might feel just your thighs shaking, and that's muscles that you don't generally use coming online and engaging. So once more, you can come down towards the floor and then slowly up. And then coming forward, hands on the floor, left leg back, plank pose. And then knees, chest and chin down to the floor. Inhale, roll your shoulders back, moving from your lower back. Kind of imagine your head going higher up in your Bhujangasana Cobra pose. Tucking your toes under, pushing back into your downward facing dog. And then bringing your right foot forward. Again, we're going to do our high lunge, but if that was too much for you, you can stay with a low lunge. Again, think about non-violence. Inhale up and treating yourself with care and compassion. And then exhale it down. Left leg forward. Inhale it all the way up. Arms down. We'll do the other side. Inhale up, bending back. Exhale, slightly bend at the knees, hinging at the hips, coming all the way down. Hands on your shins coming halfway up as you inhale. Exhale, hands down, left leg back. Coming all the way up into your high lunge. Again, on the left, with the left leg back, you can drop the knee down towards the floor, coming up. Bringing it down, coming up. Probably want to avoid this if you've got any knee problems. And then coming all the way forward, right leg back, plank pose. And then knees, chest and chin down to the floor. Bringing your forearms down to the floor. We'll do Sphinx pose again. Inhale up, bending at the back. Really feel that opening from the front of your body. And then head down, bring your hands underneath your shoulders and roll it up into a downward facing dog. And then left leg forward, back up into a high lunge, looking up. And then hands down, bring the right leg forward, inhale it all the way up, exhale your hands down. Okay, so we'll do another couple of standing postures. So inhale, bending back, exhale, coming down. Now you've got the option of either stepping back or jumping back. And then pushing back into a downward facing dog. This time now bring your right foot forward towards your hands. Drop the heel of the left foot. and then inhale it up. So here you're facing, your chest is facing to the side, your right foot is facing forward, you're bending at the knee, and we're now going to push into something called Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. So in this pose, in Warrior 2, kind of feel the back of your foot digging down on the, your left foot digging down, your right foot feeling strong. So looking towards past your middle finger, looking out. Also, just feel a space between your ears and your shoulders. So your shoulders are pushing down, your neck is pushing up. So in this pose, kind of feel like a warrior. So for me, this is a really compassionate stance. You know, if you think about all the suffering you may have faced during this year, compassion isn't about avoidance. It's about looking towards. So looking towards suffering and pain, but being really grounded. So feel really grounded in this pose. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Now, do an archer pose. So what I'd like you to do is bring your left hand next to your right hand. So we're going to bring them together, but I'd like you, as you breathe out, just feel as you're bringing the arm over, breathing out, just also allow a sense of any kind of negativity, anything that you feel you need to let go of that no longer serves you, allow it to leave your body. And then inhale a new breath in. Whether that's some positivity, whether that's a new way of working. So again, exhale anything that no longer serves you, breathe it out. And then inhale something new, something fresh into your body. Brilliant. And then we're going to, from here, straighten that right leg. You might want to, don't lock it though, you just need to make sure that you can bounce it a little bit. And then imagine that you can't move below the hip. So imagine that they're just kind of glued together and you've got something in front of you and you're trying to grab it until you can't move it any more forward, and then place your right hand on your right shin. Inhale, lifting up, Trikonasana, triangle pose. So looking up to your right thumb, inhale and exhale. So in this more stronger pose, just notice how your body feels. Take a deep, caring, loving breath in and out, and then coming up, windmilling your hands down, right leg back into your downward facing dog. And then we'll do the other side. So then bringing your left foot forward, dropping the heel, inhaling it up, bending that front knee, arms forward, making sure there's that space between your shoulders and your ears. And then changing the direction of your arms, exhale anything that you want to let go of, that you need to let go of. And then inhale something new across your body. Make sure that you feel grounded with a sense of compassion. Exhale once more. And inhale it in. And then one last time, exhale it out. And inhale the sense of care, love, and compassion.
And then from here, straighten out that front leg, pushing that right hip back, pushing forward, placing your left hand on your left shin, looking up, feeling that stretch in your right hip, the right side of your body, looking up to your thumb on the right hand. Inhale and exhale. Again, just notice, making sure that you're not experiencing any pain, having a sense of strength, stability, groundedness. And then coming up, and then place your hands forward, right leg back into downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then come down to the floor, placing your feet forward. We'll just do a stretch before we enter into our relaxation. So in this pose, just notice, feel your feet going forward and your back up straight. Feel your sit bones digging down into the floor. And then inhale, lifting up your arms. And then pushing forward. And then seeing where your hands come, whether it's on your knees, your shins, or your feet. And just allowing the back of your body to stretch. Inhale and exhale. Again, noticing any tension, can you direct your breath to that part of your body, opening it out, breathing into any tension. And then from here, you can lie down. If you're in a place where you feel where it's cold, make sure that you've got a blanket. Make sure you're warm. And just allow your body to relax. Just notice the different parts of your body that you feel connected to right now. As you inhale, take a relaxing breath, directing it all the way through. Maybe starting at your toes, your heels, relaxing your ankles, your calf muscles, your knees, your thighs, your hips and pelvis, your belly, your lower back, your ribs, your heart and lungs, your shoulders, your neck, your jaw, back of your head, your forehead, and the crown. Just take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Noticing how you feel. Allow your breath to relax in your body. So just notice, what does your breath feel like? What awareness do you have compared to the beginning of the class when I asked you just to notice your breath? Does it feel deeper? Just notice the journey that you went through during this class. And then in your own time, when you're ready, maybe slowly opening your eyes, stretching, wiggling your fingers and toes. And then in whatever way you feel ready to, slowly come up again back to a cross-legged seated position. And just to close the class off then, placing your hands together in front of your heart, bowing down your head to your heart. Just thank yourself for making this time to connect to your body. Thanking your body for taking you from place to place, to doing the amazing job that you do on a day-to-day basis. I'd like to thank you for taking this time out and allowing me to teach you pranam. Thank you, everyone. So I really hope you found that class helpful and that's given you some ideas, whether that's a personal practice or other things. You might just want to spend a bit of time now, just sitting, maybe even journal, just think about what you've taken from that practice in terms of what you've learned about patterns and what you might want to change on a day-to-day basis. So I really hope you found this helpful, and once again, thank you for making this time for yourself. Take care.